Testing, testing, testing. How about now, guys? How about now? Did I get it? Now that was cool. Well, thank you. I don't know why it did that, but yeah, I did have a mic issue. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Golf Cart Garage. This is Tuesday the 3rd. If you're watching us on Tuesday the 3rd at 12 noon Central Time, you are watching us live, either on Facebook or YouTube. Let me check Facebook again and make sure that that's working. Bart Gilman says yes over there on Facebook. What's up, Bart Gilman? Everything is cool there. All right. Almost had a glitch, but I think we got through it. Cool. All right, we're going to talk about some golf cart stuff here today, as we always do. Let me see what's going on over here. Galactic Technologies, best hour of the week. Thank you, Daniel. I spoke with Daniel. He's one of our winners, recent winners of the Bag of Swag. He's into all kinds of stuff. He sent me a bunch of videos of things that he can do in his shop. He's got some really nice equipment, does some really nice work, not just golf carts. I don't know if y'all remember, Daniel at Galactic Technologies is the guy that sent me the pictures the time where pointed out that you can fit an entire Club Car DS inside of a minivan. I thought that was pretty cool. But he also does a lot of other things besides just golf carts. If you need any hats or anything like that, hit Galactic Technologies up. He's got the laser etching equipment, all kinds of stuff in his shop he can do. Safety hats for welding, laser equipment or etching equipment for custom hats, you know, things on the front, you know, like this Golf Cart Garage stuff. David Irwin, great day in Florida. Hope all is doing well. Help us Garage, what's going on? Toasty Cabot, 82 degrees, headed for near 90. Yes, that's what it is outside. We are finally getting some warm weather here in Arkansas, in central Arkansas. Memorial Day weekend was sort of a bust as far as lake time goes. It kind of rained all weekend and it wasn't warm. It was a weird opening for the supposedly lake season opening. Is usually Memorial Day weekend, but it was kind of cool and rainy. Kurt, what's going on? Harry Fike, raining this evening in South Florida. Craig, what's up, Craig? Ricky Smith, what's going on there? Ricky Smith, Mike, MI6 Irvin, 86 and sunny in southwestern Indiana. Gene, what's going on, Gene? Got my sound back. Oh, Kurt, Camo is officially on the move. Camo Cart is on the move. I've been riding around in it. It is officially on lithium, and so far so good. I've got a couple of miles on it. I'm gonna take it somewhere else to do a more extensive range test. Can't really do a nice range test in my neighborhood. It wouldn't really be fair because we're up on top of a mountain here, and I got hills up and down, up and down. I don't think that would really be fair. I need to take it somewhere and do a range test where it's a little more consistently flat. I would like to, because I want to get the most out of the range test, obviously. But yeah, it turns out what the deal was with my Camo cart, it's been a long process, is it was my controller. That was the only thing wrong with it, is that I had a bad All-Tracks controller. Now, it was a DCX controller, which is one of their old controllers they don't even make anymore. And I switched to an XCT. It now has an All-Tracks XCT controller, still a 500 amp controller, but an XCT, and it's on a stock PDS motor now because I messed up the motor. When I took the motor out, I messed up trying to get the armature out. I accidentally broke the brush holder. I don't know if the brush holder was brittle or what, but I ended up snapping that brush holder when I was trying to get the armature out of there. So that's why it's been such a long process, because first I thought it was just needed batteries, put a battery in it, was having an issue. Then I thought it was motor, pulled the motor was caked up with brush dust. I thought sure I had found the problem, that it was the motor. Put another motor in it, stock motor, same thing, same problem, and it ended up being the controller, so I had to get the controller. So, and now everything's fine. And by the way, I don't know if it's ever run any better than it runs now, and it's literally stock motor, PDS, on lithium, you know, with a weight savings on 20s. Now, I know I talk about I don't really like to lift PDS cars because the weak link is the controller. You can lift a PDS car if you change that controller. Nice weather in South Georgia. Easy mic to you. Freeman Strategy Group. Even experts can have issues. That's my wife there. Yeah, I had issues with that camo car, and I had all kinds of other things going on too that I couldn't really concentrate on the project. But I finally got caught up on all my other stuff, and I was able to concentrate on it. And I think it's good to go. But like I said, I'm not going to recommend the battery until I'm sure, and I need to run it some more. I need to do a range test, but I tell you what, it runs good. With the weight savings alone, I can tell that thing has power. It's I took it out on flat ground just for a little bit. I took it out, let me tell you this. I took it out on the highway out there just one time for just less than 5 minutes and ran it, and when I got back to my neighborhood, there was a sheriff behind me. He did not pull me over, luckily, but there was a sheriff behind me. I mean, just the first time I did it. But anyway. Ron, yeah, I'm testing, man. I'm testing the battery. He says, I can attest to lithium. I drove 16.5 miles to my camper and never charged throughout the weekend, then drove it home. Still had 40% when I parked it to charge. Well, that's what I want to do with this one. I want to give it a good test before I say anything good about it. I don't want somebody to go out and buy it until I'm positive. And I've got an area in mind that I can go test it and do at least, I'm thinking I can do at least a 15-mile run. And if it comes through with a 15-mile run, I feel pretty good. Like you said, you did about 16.5. I think I have an area where I can do 15 on a gravel road, you know, but it's relatively flat gravel road. That should be a pretty good test, I was thinking. Rob Cedar, my Eco Bat shirt still fits perfect after many washes and dryer cycles. Good, Rob. Glad to hear it. Larry England, what's going on, Larry? Thank you for joining us. Got Facebook still going. Looks like we got some people over there. That's cool. I said he think he totaled 46 through the weekend. Rob Cedar, I have a Samsung Lithium, hardly ever charger it. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do with this one. Hopefully, I'll even get some more. I'd like to, you know, start doing lithium range tests. You know, I just needed to get a candidate because my race car wouldn't be fair. It's not really a fair candidate, I don't think, for range test. But this one, I don't know if it's fair because it's on 20s. You know, I'd love to have a completely stock golf cart that's ready to go for range test of different lithiums. That would be cool, and I may get that. I'm just glad I got it all figured out and that this one's working good. Facebook's cool. All right. Let's get started with the regular questions here. Question number one is from Andy. I need some help on replacing the electric motor bearings on my 94 Marathon. After being partially submerged by a hurricane, the motor runs, but the bearings growl. I want to replace them, but can't find anything on the internet describing the process. I can get the motor off, but I'm hesitant to break the motor apart before I know how to reassemble the motor. My main concern is how to get the brushes back in. The motor is a D&D, so I'm assuming that the bearings are the same as the stock GE it came with. I would also like to know if I need to press to remove or install the bearings. Any advice is much appreciated. Appreciated. Andy, we'll take this one step at a time. We're going to take this one question at a time. The first part, you say I need help on replacing the electric motor bearings on my 94 Marathon. Okay, first of all, a 94 Marathon, there is only one bearing in the motor. There is one armature bearing, and it is at the end. It's down there on the brush end of the motor. It's onto the armature. And let's see, if they're growling, that you definitely have a bad motor bearing, most likely. I mean, there's some other bearings in your rear end, depending on how high the water got, but most likely it's going to be your motor bearing if you're describing it as a growl. Don't be afraid to take your motor apart. They're very they're surprisingly uncomplicated, you know, once you take them apart, and it should be very easy. And as far as needing a press, I have never needed a press. I've taken a lot of electric golf cart electric motors apart, and I have never needed to press. Now, that's not to say that it might not happen if you might have some rust issues or, you know, salt corrosion like you're talking about, because from a hurricane. So it's very possible that may come into play. Now, as far as the bearing in there, every bearing has the number of the bearing on the side of the bearing race. So if you get it out, if you get the bearing out, you can read the number off the race and just get the exact same bearing. Because I would not assume that it's the same bearing as a stock GE and a D&D. I wouldn't assume that. I would go by the bearing number itself. I mean, you might be right. It may be the same, but I'm just saying I wouldn't count on that. I'd go by the bearing number. I have a wholesale account with a battery place. I'm half interested in building my own 48 volt battery with higher amp hour. Well, that's what some people are doing. I mean, there's a lot of that going on nowadays with available parts. And you understand parallel circuit, you can do it. I mean, but not everybody understands that. That would be cool. I would love to do that. Keith, what's going on? Keith and Chris from Nashville checking in. 90 degrees hot. Yeah, we're getting hot here in Arkansas too, man. Kevin Salyer, what's going on? Sunny and finally getting to be summer here in Indiana. 85. Headed to Florida later this week for vacation. Cool. Bart Gilman, can I use a 36 volt Yamaha motor in an E-Z-Go 36 volt cart? I believe you can, Bart. I know that may sound like a crazy question to some people, but there are some 36 volt E-Z-Gos that are the motors, some 36 volt motors that can be used on either. They'll bolt right up. So it's very possible. If it's a 19 spline? If it's a 19 spline, then yeah, it'll work. Because a series motor is a series motor. I mean, it's Fish, what's going on, Fish? From Tehachapi. Hadn't seen you in a while, man. Thanks for stopping by. All right, number 2. This is from Wallace. I just ordered a new OEM front and rear shocks for my G1. Did so because you can feel the bumps big time. What I need to know is, will I need to use a spring compressor when I change them out? Thanks in advance. Well, Wallace, if your new shocks that you got didn't come with a spring on them, I mean, is that what you're saying? Well, it's very likely you might need to use a spring compressor to put them on. But the replacement shocks that we sell at Golf Cart Garage for G1s, I believe, come with a spring already on them. Harry Fike says, does anyone know the input shaft seal number on a 91 DS 36 volt? I do not know that off the top of my head, Harry, but let me think if I have an IPL. An IPL is an illustrated parts list. I don't think I'm going to have an illustrated parts list for a club car that old, but I might. Harry, if you don't mind, if somebody else doesn't know it, which that would be an odd thing to know off the top of someone's head, there's my email, Harry. Send me an email to remind me to see if I have an IPL, an illustrated parts list for a club car that old. It is possible that I do, but I'm not sure. I might not have a parts list. And what it will have, what the parts list will have, is you won't even need to know the seal number. It will have the actual club car part number for that seal, if I've got it. Hey, Aaron, is there a rear axle more similar to a trailer that can be used in a golf cart? I want to buy the back half of a golf cart, but I don't know if I want to leave the stock motorless rear end under it. A rear axle more similar to a trailer that can be used in a golf cart. Okay, I see what you're saying. You want to, yeah, go to, I tell you, go to Tractor Supply. I think they might have what you're talking about now, or what you need there. You may have to chop it because it may be too wide, but there's some axles at Tractor Supply for building trailers, and you could chop it and make it as weld it back together. Get somebody to weld it back together. But yeah, that's if I'm understanding you correctly. Go check that out. Big Mike, what's going on, Big Mike? Aaron People Hauler, yeah. Go check that out at Tractor Supply. See if that will help you, because I've seen that. I was just in there the other day, and I saw some in there. Big Mike says, my brother just bought an Evolution 6-seater loaded to the gills. Anyone have any intel on the hoping it treats him good? I just did, what was that? Something happened with me in Evolution just recently. I can't remember what it was. I think it might have been a customer that was a GHOD call or something. Yeah, that's going to be might be hard to find somebody with a lot of experience with Evolution, because they're still relatively new out there. They look nice. I mean, I've seen them. They come with, it probably comes with front disc brakes. I mean, that's pretty cool. I think my club car motor bearing is going. It's made noise for years. I have a spare motor. I'm thinking of swapping bearings. Yeah, when they go, it's very apparent. It's amazing that when that bearing, like if you take it out and you roll it in your hands, and if you feel just any amount of grit or anything in that bearing, it is amazing how loud that will translate through the rear end to the outside world. Even if it's a little bit off. That's why it's always a good idea. Anytime you got your motor apart for any reason, change that bearing. Eagle River Mike, running late, checking in. Tim, what's going on, Eagle River Mike? Fish says, I have 6 good 8-volt batteries. My son has a 36-volt EasyGo. Can we put 5 8-volts in the EasyGo, equaling 40, to run his 36-volt cart? I wish I knew how many times I've been asked that question. I wish I had $1 for every time I've been asked that question. The answer would be no, don't do it, but if you did do it, would it work? It might, because EasyGo, or not EasyGo, Western, they used to run 42 volts through up to 42 volts in a controller. See, the controller is very voltage specific, but there is a slight range in a 36 volt controller. I mean, in other words, if you got a 36 volt controller and you hit it with 37 volts, obviously it doesn't blow up, because a fully charged 36 volt pack is around 37, even 38 volts. So you can run up to a certain amount. The problem is going to be, how are you going to charge it? 40 volts. Your 36 volt charger is not going to work anymore. You're just going to ruin the batteries. They're going to get ruined over time. Trying to charge that on 36 volts is not going to work. It would never shut off. Your charger would never shut off. It would just keep working and working and working. It's not going to ever get a full charge unless you have a 40 volt charger, which I've never seen one. So there's all kinds of issues that come into play. Would it work? It might, but it also might blow the controller up. You know, if your 40 volt pack is fully charged, it's not going to be 40 volts. It's going to be a little more than 40 volts. Then you're going to start pushing the envelope of that controller, because, like I said, the controller is voltage sensitive. So it would definitely not be recommended. Let's just put it that way, because you might be opening up a can of problems. Big Mike, I'll send you a pic. It's a real good looking ride. Yeah, I've seen some. I went to the boat show here in Arkansas not too long ago, and one of the vendors, it was apparently was an Evolution dealer, and he had some cars there. And that's what I remember walking by, is you could see front disc brakes, you know, right from the factory. I mean, it's a good looking ride. I don't know. I'd like to run the heck out of one and see how it handles, see how it holds up. Harry Fikes got my email. Well, you could, Fish says, okay, got you. We could test it though to see if the cart runs, just need batteries. I would try to come up with some kind of configuration to test it that's closer to 36. You know, because like I said, fully charged 48 volt pack is going to be more than 40 volts. And you're going to be pushing that little bit of a range that a 36 volt controller has. And you could fry the controller. Now, if you're talking about getting a new controller anyway, then go ahead and test it. But if you're just talking, you just want to test the cart to make sure, I would go about it a different way. I'd just put, I'd do the motor isolation test, and just see if the motor spins on 12 volts. You know, not connected to the golf cart. If it spins on 12 volts, the odds are it's fine. You know, it's probably fine if it spins on 12 volts. You can look that up. You can look that test up, but basically it is, you connect an A terminal to an S terminal on your motor. Disconnect all 4 wires from the motor. Take a battery cable and connect any A terminal to any S terminal, and then put 12 volts positive and negative to the other 2 terminals, and the motor should spin slowly. You know, have the car jacked up, have the wheels off the ground. Should spin slowly. If it does, then most likely your motor's fine. Okay, where were we at over here? Number 3 is where we were at on the regular questions. That would be here. This is from Jeffrey. 2014 48 volt precedent. In the past few uses, it suddenly is not responsive at startup. I turn the key on, put in reverse. Buzzer is loud as heck. Depress the accelerator pedal and nothing. It doesn't move. Rock into forward and again nothing. Then turn the key off and back on, and eventually it moves. When running, it runs great. Batteries checked out fine. A couple of terminals had some buildup, but minimal. I was guessing solenoid going bad. I heard nothing when pressing the accelerator today. I just happened to try a different key, and it ran right off. I clearly heard an audible click each time I depressed the accelerator pedal. Again, the original key has worked fine until just the past few days. Possibly a solenoid going bad. Could this be a key issue? You mean you don't mean key switch? You mean the actual key? It's not going to be If you're asking me if it could be the key, the actual key, then no, it's not going to be a key issue. Now it could be this key switch, if that's what you're talking about. It could be the key switch could be an issue. It would be rare. It'd be a rare issue, but yeah, there's lots of things that can happen in an electrical system. It could be a loose connection issue, like you said. You found some buildup on some of the cables. You might want to go through every one of those. You might find one that's loose. You might find one that's nasty with some corrosion and stuff. Could be that. Most likely, it could just be a loose connection issue. But no, if you're talking about key or key switch, yes, it could be, but not the key. That's not going to be it. Number 4. This is from Chris. 2010 Club Car President. Cart speed is not constant when the accelerator is anywhere but on the floor. After releasing the accelerator, it seems like the cart slows down too fast. Thanks. Okay, the device that is responsible for constant acceleration and smooth from bottom to top in your cart is the M-core. That's the electronic device that can go bad and cause your cart not to smoothly accelerate and not to be able to hold a steady speed, you know, when your foot is holding a steady speed. So if you've got up and down in acceleration when your foot's not moving up and down, then it's very likely the M-core. Now you said something else. What was it? You said after releasing the accelerator pedal, it seems like the cart slows down too fast. Well, your cart is programmable. Your regenerative braking in your particular cart, which is a 2010 Club Car Precedent, your regenerative braking could be set higher than your preference. I mean, that could be, I can tell you this, when regenerative braking is set wide open on a car like that, when it is set all the way to the max, it's very irritating. When you let off the accelerator pedal, it like throw you through the windshield. So it could just be a matter of needing to go to the dealer and they program some of your regen out. You know, that's not a big deal. And at the same time, they can look at your M-core on your cart has a diagnostic port where they plug their computer in. They could look at your M-core and see the up and down stuff, and so they could verify what I'm saying, that your M-core could be the problem with your acceleration issue and your regen could be the problem with your slowing down too fast issue. Number 5. Oh yeah, by the way, before I get any further, this is we're on question 5. I just decided that it's hat day today. It is hat day. So anybody that's sitting over there on Facebook that hadn't commented, you have to comment in order to be in order to be entered into the hat giveaway contest, which we are doing today. It is hat day today. And Freeman Strategy Group, which is my wife, is on top of it behind the scenes. And I just made the decision that it's hat day. We are going to give away a hat at the end of this episode. So it is swag day, Craig. That's how I roll, just on the spur of the moment. Number 5 is from Peter. When my buddy said he was using my cart, 98 Club Car, that the regen braking was sometimes a lot harder than other times. Also, when sitting still with the key on and the cart in the run position, sometimes the solenoid will click and the battery light will blink on and off while you're sitting still. Yep, made an executive decision, Gary. Yep, I did it. I forgot the question now. Oh, okay, and the battery light will blink on when you're sitting. 98 Club Car. Okay. Of course that is going to, if that's a regen, 98 regen Club Car, they do have a regenerative braking, and it's not adjustable on that car, the regenerative braking. But you're saying that it is sometimes worse than others. So I would try to duplicate what it's doing. Like I know this on a regen cart like that, If you're just driving down the road and you reach up there, you're going full throttle and you turn the key off, boom, it will come to a stop pretty quick just by turning the key off. See if that's the amount of regenerative braking that you are experiencing. And that would help narrow it down on which direction we would need to go. Because that car is not an M-Core, that car is going to be V-Glide, and there's going to be other things that it could be happening, but it could be as simple as what we talked about earlier. It could be your key switch is going bad. William Flowers, yeah, just in time for Hat Day. Yep, just in time. Just in time, William. You never know. You never know when it's going to be Hat Day on Taco Tuesday. I haven't had tacos in a while. I might actually, might have to, I don't know. We'll have to see. Number 5, which was what we were just talking about the region car. I would also like to know what your battery voltage is, because you said something about the battery light will blink while you're just sitting there. Well, that battery light can blink for a number of reasons on that particular year car. It can blink for low voltage. That's why I want to eliminate that's the reason that it's blinking. It can also blink because your last charge cycle didn't complete. So that's why I would like to see what the voltages are on the individual batteries, so we can figure out that light thing first, and then we'll go from there. But you could have a key switch, or low voltage can cause lots of weird symptoms, in especially cars like that. That's like the first generation region car. Right around 2,000 fish, somewhere right in that area, 2,000, because I know that 2002s had M-Cores, all right? 2001s may or may not have had M-Cores. 2000s, I'm pretty sure that I've seen V-Glides in 2000s. Pretty sure I've seen V-Glides in 2000s. So somewhere around there. Larry Hits, hat for Hat Day, hey for Hat Day. I think you meant yay for Hat Day. Yeah, Larry. Probably yay, huh? Not hey for Hat Day. Howie Peach, what's going on, Howie? Yep, I knew if I said it was Hat Day, I'd have some people show up on Facebook. Thank you for commenting there, Howie. You are now entered in the hat giveaway contest. Hey, Tim, beautiful day in Ontario, Canada. Canada in the house. Bruce, hello from Westfield, Wisconsin. What's up, Bruce? Joe Foster, hello, Tim and fans. What's going on, Joe Foster? Number 6. (2008) drive gas this is from Ben. 2008 drive gas transaxle. This is a Yamaha. I can jack my cart up and the rear wheels will spin when I press on the gas, but I can hold both rear wheels with my hand and stop them. So I took the transaxle out the cart and broke it open, and everything looks fine. If I turn the shaft, the clutch goes on both rear axles, but I can also hold the axles, the clutch shaft. The axle stopped turning, but the clutch shaft will keep turning. Well, Ben, wait, and what car was this? This was a 2008 drive gas transaction. Okay, I don't think that's a anything fancy on a 2008. It's not really that wet braking system, I don't believe, on a 2008. Well, anyway, the bottom line is this is normal operation on a golf cart, which freaks people out. I mean, this what I'm about to. This scenario freaks people out. I get this question all the time. If you raise the rear end of a golf cart, and I wish I had $1 for every time this subject had been brought up, and I touched, let's say, Tim, I touched the gas pedal, and the wheels, one turns one way and one turns the other. Well, go do this. Have somebody touch the gas pedal and just grab one of your wheels. You can stop it, and then the other wheel will spin. Then go to the other side, you can grab that wheel and stop it, and the other wheel will spin. That just totally freaks people out. They think there's something wrong. with their golf cart. The fact that they can do that to their golf cart, they can stop one of the wheels and the other one will spin. They think something's wrong. They think something's broken. That's normal operation of an open rear end. You know, an open rear end in a golf cart. That rear end is the same technology as in older automobiles. You know, now automobiles have advanced a lot, but that rear end works. A differential is an amazing invention, very amazing invention. There's a video on YouTube where they showed the evolution of a differential, of the modern day differential, and how it started and how it has evolved to what it is today. It's a genius device. It's a piece of mechanical art. That is for sure. It is mechanical art. Joe Foster, looks like everyone needs a hat. It must suck not being able to hear how many laughs you get. What did I say that was funny? I didn't. Okay. Number 7 is where we're at. It's from Mark the 1st. My pack is out of balance with voltages ranging from 6.31 to 6.39. Rob Cedar pointed out what I was saying. His 2000 is a V-Glide. So in other words, but you got to consider this. Let me hide this. You got to consider this. Nothing happens on January 1st. So if your 2000 is a V-Glide, that means that later on in 2000 they could have switched to M-Core. You know, and that's a lot of times this is separated by serial numbers. You know, they go by serial numbers up to this point are going to be V-Glide. After that, it's not necessarily the year. That's why I said somewhere between 2000 and 2002 for sure is when they switched to M-Core. My pack is out of balance, this is from Mark, with voltage ranging from 6.31 to 6.39 after a charge and a rest. I have a PowerWise 2, but it does not have, I have a charger, not have that option. How should I go about getting, oh, you mean to balance the pack. Okay, I got you. I have both 6 and 12 volt charger, but they are both simple automotive chargers with set parameters. Any advice? PDS 36 volt Alltrax 400 DCX PDS. That's same controller that I just had go bad, except mine was a 500 DCX. You got a couple of choices there, Mark. If you don't like the out of balance issue, by the way, your out of balance issue is not really that far off. I mean, are you running lights or anything across 2 batteries would be my question. Are you doing anything to cause them to get a little bit out of balance? And if you are, if you have a 6 volt charger and it has a deep cycle setting, if it has a 6 volt deep cycle setting, then you could charge them each individually like that if you wanted to. Now, your charger, your PowerWise 2, you're right, it does not have a balance function, and it has a certain charging algorithm. All right. Only lithium battery chargers actually are able to balance all the cells inside of lithium because there's a BMS on board on lithium. In lead acid batteries, there is nothing connected to each one of those holes. Each one of those water fill holes is actually a 2 volt battery. A lot of people don't realize that. Each one of those water fill holes is a 2 volt battery. Those 3 2 volt batteries in your case are connected internally in that battery, positive and negative, making a 6 volt battery. All right. Then you've got 6 of those in series, positive and negative, and your charger doesn't know that. It has no idea. Your charger thinks that it's charging one 36 volt battery, and what it does, it sits there and you plug your charger in to that battery pack. Your charger is watching the voltage. It's watching the voltage rise as your charger is running. As long as that voltage keeps rising, that charger is going to continue to run. It waits until the voltage doesn't rise anymore, and then it still charges for a little while, basically an overcharge to make sure any low cells come back up. That's the old school way of describing how a charger balances your battery pack. Now, you've got, more modern chargers. If they're not hooked to each one of those batteries, then that's the only thing they can do in order to balance the pack. They can overcharge it at the end of the cycle for a short period of time just to give those low cells a chance to come up. So you can just rely on, do a few charges with your regular charger and then check them again, see if anything is improving. If not, you can charge the low ones up individually with a 12 volt, with a 6 volt deep cycle charger. And that may get you more in line. Mike Marson, your hat would look great on my head. Well, you may get it, Mike. You may get one. I tell you what, I cleaned this one. It was I actually have two of this color because the tan ones do get dirty quick. So, but as an experiment, I had one that I messed up and mowed grass in it or something. I don't know what I was thinking, and I got it dirty. I washed it in the washing machine, and it came out like brand new again. Now I cannot tell the difference between the two. I mean, I did put some that Shout stain remover. It's got it comes with a little built-in scrub brush on the bottle. I took that little Shout thing and put it on there before I threw it in the washer with a bunch of clothes. Came out perfect. I mean, I literally can't tell the difference between this one and the brand new one that I have. Jerry Kelly, what's going on, Jerry Kelly? Okay, I was on number 8. This is from Jeremy F. I have a 88 Columbia Club car. My oil injection is disabled. The rig does not run bad or smoke. I guess I'd like to just disable it and run premix. What ratio do I run? Can I just remove the pump and plug the intake inlet? I don't know off the top of my head if on an 88, but I can tell you this, on most golf carts, it's not a good idea to remove the pump. If you remove the pump, you leave things open down there. It's best just to leave the pump in place. Leave it in place. Quit putting oil in the oil injection thing. Just leave everything in place. That way you know everything is stopped up how it's supposed to be. Just quit putting oil in the oil injection tank. Leave the pump in place and just start running 40 to 1, in your gas. You'll be fine. That way you don't have to do any extra work. A lot of people want to remove that pump, but sometimes it can, on certain cars. I don't know about yours, on an 88 Columbia, but on certain cars, it's just better to leave everything in place. It causes you a whole lot less trouble. Fish, I still don't see any. No, not any golf cart garage shirts are not available, but we do have some eco battery shirts. Fish, I don't know if you've been here since we've given away eco battery shirts. So I mean, I've had several people get a shirt, but it's an eco battery shirt. I'll show you a picture of it. Where am I at? There. There's an eco battery shirt and eco battery hat, Fish, and you might not have seen those yet. Eagle River Mike, Tim, thanks for responding to my emails. Pulled the trigger and purchased the Vitas controller and AC motor. Oh man, that's awesome. Can't wait to install it. Yeah, there's a lot of those installs on YouTube. Eagle, if you have any trouble, you're probably aware of this. You just go to YouTube and you just plug that in, conversion or EasyGo, whatever cart you're doing, Navitas AC motor conversion, and you'll find a video of someone that has done the exact same thing as what you're doing, and you'll have step-by-step instructions on what to do if you have any questions or whatever. So YouTube would definitely be your friend there for sure. But congratulations, that's what everybody wants, is that AC conversion. Number 8, 40 to 1 would be safe ratio to run in that car for sure. That's actually way more oil than the pump actually pumps, you know, in an oil injection system. The oil injection system in a Yamaha G1, which is a 2-stroke, if you look in the service manual, it will tell you that it varies, the oil injection amount varies. It is literally anywhere from 100 to 1 to 300 to 1, depending on the RPM. That's very, very little oil. That's why a lot of people don't think that their oil pump on their Yamaha G1s isn't working, because if you take the line off the carburetor and you crank the car and they just barely see any coming out, they say this thing ain't pumping. Well, it uses very, very little oil. Travis Beach, what's going on, Travis Beach? What's up, guys? Sorry I'm late. No problem. No problem. All right, anybody in the chat in either Facebook or YouTube that hasn't posted a comment yet, we're probably about to shut the entries down on question 9 is where we usually do it. But I'll go ahead and so you need to comment to get your name in the drawing. Let me go back to fish over here before I take up 9. If you're converting to a lithium and keeping the stock motor and controller, is there a need to upgrade your cables? No. No. There's only a need to upgrade your cables if you are about to put your car's electrical system under a greater bind than you have been before, you know, and even then it might not be necessary if you're not developing any heat. And what I mean by putting your electrical system in a bigger bind, are you fixing to put a high-speed motor in there? Are you fixing to put a lift kit with tall tires? Both of those things put your golf cart in a big bind. It puts your electrical system in a bigger bind. So that's when you're going to need to upgrade the controller, or the cables, I mean. But I always say just fill your cables for heat. If you develop any hot spots in any of your cables, you know, just fill your main power cables for heat. If they're not developing heat, there's no reason to increase their size. And if you're switching to a lithium only, and it's the same voltage lithium as what you were using before, and that's the only thing you're doing, no. Your cables will probably run cooler than they were before because of the weight difference in your car. So your electrical system in that case is actually going to be under less of a bind than it was before. Okay. Keith, double dipping on Facebook. I got you. You're not going to fool my wife. She's on top of this. She understands that there's double dippers. Number 9 is where I was at. Yep, it is a nice hat. I have the other one. I have the Eco hat that is that one. I got that one. That's the second Eco hat. You got 2 Eco hats that you can choose from today if you want to. And plus you've got the other golf cart garage hats, which I'll show in a little bit too. I haven't even worn my Eco hat. I just got it not too long ago, and I haven't even worn it. This is from Bernard. I've installed a 6-inch A-arm lift kit on my 91 Club Car DS, and now the rear end lower shift cable seems to be routed in a weird way. If the shift cable is not working and all you did was do a lift kit, you may need to contact your lift kit manufacturer and see what they say about that, because they may recommend a longer shift cable. They may recommend extension. There may be an extension for that particular lift kit for cars. I mean, they should take all that under consideration when they sell a lift kit, but they don't all do that. And there, a lot of times I've run into lift kits that didn't take under consideration that a 2-inch extension could have been used and it would have solved all the problems. Rob Cedar says, I used to run straight gas in my 2-stroke chainsaw, never had an issue. Well, I would not recommend that. I just know that that 2-strokes will run on very, very little oil, and it doesn't take much. But I wouldn't recommend not running any. Rob Cedar, hat day. Yes, it is. Last regular question. This is from Kiefer. I just purchased a 2004 gas club car Precedent. It is slow. What are some ways to get more speed? Well, this question comes up a lot too. In gas cars, well, how slow is slow? Because normal speed for a Precedent off the assembly line. I used to work for Club Car. I was actually the warranty guy for Club Car. So I've been to the plant, the Club Car plant in Augusta, Georgia, where they're coming off the assembly line. All right, there is a person that is really cool, the assembly line. If you've never been there, they give tours. It's lots of automation going on, lots of robots doing welding and all kinds of stuff. It's really amazing. The Precedents will come down the assembly line, and there's a dude standing there, and he's got the tools in his hand. He's waiting for the Precedent to come, and boom, the cart stops on a dyno, and he somehow, I can't remember if he puts his foot on the accelerator pedal or if the machine just revs the car up. Anyway, it revs the car up, and he adjusts the governor back there while it's doing it, and then that's all he does. Another Precedent comes down, puts the governor in a certain spot, which is going to be like 12 to 14 miles an hour, and the cart will run perfect there. It'll run perfect there forever. So I don't like to see people mess with those governors that don't know what they're doing, because it can cause your cart to run bad, and once you get it way out of whack, you may not ever get it back into the right place if you don't know what you're doing. So anytime that I've talked to someone with a stock gas cart and they talk about wanting to speed it up, just put high-speed gears in there and everything will be fine. That's how you should speed up a stock gas cart. Now, if you want something faster than that, then do like one of our viewers, Bruce, did, that I showed his pictures last time. Was it no, not Bruce, Eric Shepard. Eric Shepard, I showed his pictures of his cart. He did the whole Vegas motor swap. Vegas carts has they swap it to a big block, but it comes with the carrier, the motor carrier, and the swing arm and everything with a big block Honda in it or something. If you really need more than the stock motor can get. But on the stock motor, I would recommend just leaving it alone. That is such a good system on those stock motor gas golf carts. It's an excellent system. And unless you really know what you're doing, I would say don't mess with the governor, or don't try to eliminate the governor. Now, Yamaha makes it easy with the governor. Yamaha's carts are just a screw-in thing. You just screw it in and tighten it up a little bit. You can get a little more speed out of Yamaha's. Yamaha made it easy, but they're not all easy. Like club cars are not that easy. All right, that was, oh, did y'all hear that? Winner's been announced. I'm not going to show it yet. Winner has been announced of the swag. Everybody stay in the room. Let me see. Social media platforms, I'll run those. We'll go up there. These are other links you can follow us on. Please follow us on YouTube and Facebook. Give us a thumbs up and a subscribe if you haven't already. There's the social media links. I'll go ahead and put my email up there. That's my email. Send me some pictures and I'll feature them on the show. Send me some pictures or some videos or anything that you would like that I can feature and talk about. Something cool. Here are the golf cart garage hats. There's some links in the description that'll take you straight to them. That's the 4 golf cart garage hats that we have to choose from. Normally I do a Let's See segment, but I don't have any pictures today, so there's no Let's See. So let's see some winners. The winner of the swag for this episode is Bruce Pionic or Pionic or Pionic. I'm not exactly sure how to say it because I always say Bruce, but the winner is Bruce. Bruce is on Facebook. I've seen Bruce's name in here many times, so he is a regular, so I'm glad he won. Robert Cedar trying to double dip over on Hat Day on Facebook. Sweet, and yes, you've said it. Which one did I say right, Bruce? Pionic? Okay, Pionic. Okay, Bruce Pionic. I got it. All right. Well, send me an email there, Bruce. There's my email address up there at the top. And if you would like for me to call you, I will. I don't have to call you. You can just tell me, in the email what you would like. But you leave your phone number, and I'll give you a call as soon as we get off the air. Let me go ahead and show what you got to pick from. There's the one Eco Berry hat, and that's the one side of the t-shirt. That's the back side of the t-shirt. There's the other Eco hat that we have available. There's the front of the t-shirt and the second Eco hat, the second style Eco hat. That's going to be it. All right. If you would like to save some money, go to golfcartgarage.com. You can use this coupon code, and you can get 5% off any parts you order if you use the coupon code GHOD5. GHOD5. That's the active coupon at this time. This expires on July the 31st, so you got plenty of time on that coupon. Thank you, Fish. Kurt, Bruce, welcome to the Swag Club. We are an elite group. Okay. What else is there? I did the social media links. There's my email. I'll leave that up there for now. And then there's the coupon code. And that is going to be it. Let me know the contact information. If you'd like to contact us at Golf Cart Garage, there's a couple of ways. Obviously, you can contact me directly at 00timfreeman@gmail.com. It's what's at the top of the screen. But here is the contact to the office, support at golfcartgarage.com, and there's a phone number if you'd like to place an order. If you need that support email address to go to me, just put attention to them. They'll make sure that I get it. Travis Beach, did you have a question? Had a question up a little bit. Let me back up, Travis. There you go. I see it. I have an early 2008 President, the one with the 412s, and the batteries drain and standby. Is that due to headlights or always on, so to speak? They shouldn't be draining, Travis. And if nothing's on, they should not be draining. There is a slight parasitic drain with the tow run switch when the tow run switch is in run, but it is so slight that it shouldn't ever cause you a problem if all your batteries are good. I will tell you this. Why don't you tell me how old that 412 configuration is? Thanks all, Tim. I sent you the email. Okay. All right, Bruce. I'll check it out just as soon as I get off the air. Because I can tell you this, Travis, that 412 configuration, 412s, you know, about 412-volt batteries, that does not last. It's been proven over the years. This is not Tim theory or nothing. It's been proven over the years that those 412 configuration does not last as long as 6/8s. Like when you got 6/8s in there, I would tell my customers they can expect anywhere between 4 and 5 years out of their battery pack. Well, I wouldn't tell them that. Oh, you got lithium batteries in it. Okay, now let me go back to your question. Allied lithium batteries in it. You have allied lithium batteries. So you got 412 allied lithium batteries in there in series. 48 volts, 60 amp hour. Oh, you got 3 of them. 3 48 volts allied lithiums in parallel. So there should not be a drain on them. Is all I can say. I got you. You got 48. You got 3 of them in parallel. You got 360. Are they each 60 amp hour? So that means you have a 180 amp hour battery pack if there's 3 of them in parallel. Okay, 180 amp hour battery pack. If you're draining if you're draining a 180 amp hour battery pack with a parasitic drain, then you have a serious parasitic drain going on, because that's a big amp hour battery pack. See, that's why I'm not sure that I like, well, yours is in parallel, so it's not really that big a deal. But you still have 3 BMSs going on there. You still have 3 BMSs. That's why I like the single batteries, you know, better than when we try to mess with the multiple 12-volt batteries. I've never really liked that, even though they do offer it. You know, a lot of companies still offer that. How do you know that you have a drain? Would be my next question. How did you determine that you have a drain? Just because your batteries are dead? I mean, could you possibly just have a bad battery? Would be, you know, which direction I would be going next. Rob Cedar, can't really double dip. I want a hat this year. Yeah. It'd be okay. You can see them draining because of the Bluetooth. I got you. You got a stereo? I mean, the only thing I can think of would be a stereo with a memory wire. I can check each battery with the Bluetooth. Okay. You got anything with a memory wire, like a stereo? You know how a stereo has a memory wire that retains the radio stations, that is on all the time. Now, your lights, Frank Hoffman. What's going on, Frank Hoffman? Tell which wheel purchase it. Now it rides really well. Should I upgrade to 23-inch tires for a smoother ride? Well, head and tail lights should be either on or off. What did you do? Where did you get to your 12 volts for your head and tail lights? I'll get back to you, Frank, just a second. If you've got 3 of them in parallel, where are you getting 12 volts for your lights? Do you have a voltage reducer? Is what I'm asking. Because there's no way to get 12 volts off of your configuration with 3 48-volt batteries in parallel, or double parallel, whatever you want to call it. $48-volt. Oh, okay, you have a 48-volt headlight kit. Okay, that's fine. Well, it should be an on and off switch then. Then there should not be any drain, is what I'm getting at. Frank Hoffman says, "Hi from South Carolina, 89 and sunny." Let me get back to your question, Frank. Hello, 2011 Club Car Precedent, 48 volts. Came with lift kit and 22 by 11 by 12 tires on 12-inch wheels, purchased used. I installed a 6-inch lift. Now it rides really rough. Should I upgrade to 23s? Well, are you running lithium on there, Frank? Is that why it's rough? Is it because your car is so light? Yeah, I was going to go back to that on the voltage reducer there, Bruce. That's why I always like on the voltage reducer, if it's not for stereo where I have to retain the memory of the radio stations, I will put a separate switch to completely chop the positive line on the voltage reducer so it will not drain the batteries. But he has a 48-volt light kit, so that's not it. He's running straight to the batteries. Travis says there's no lithium, 6-8 volts. Well, what kind of, did you do anything to your springs? You know, when you installed your lift kit, did you put any kind of heavy duty springs or anything like that on there? Because, I mean, you're on the right track. If you put 23-inch tires on it, that may smooth out your ride. But you have to understand, are we talking about a completely stock precedent with the stock electronics? I mean, if you're just riding around on asphalt most of the time, you'll probably be fine. Travis, why is there always power to the headlights when the key is off? You do have heavy duty leafs. Well, that's one place you can get a better ride, is if you feel like you can can you get away in your application without running heavy duty springs? Because that'll give you a little bit better ride. Your shocks aren't going to have anything to do with this. It's going to be your springs. Your springs take all of the load. If you got multiple leafs in your leaf springs, maybe you can remove a leaf or two, and that will help out a little bit. Let me check on Facebook. No, we're good. All right, guys. I'm going to have to get out of here. We're running a little bit long today. Don't know. It's been like that since I got it. Bruce says to Frank, you can drop air pressure in your tires, upgrade battery controller and motor. See, the problem with that, Frank, is if you upgrade to a lithium, it's going to make it worse as far as your ride goes, because your cart's going to be so much lighter. Now you can do the controller and motor, but if you go to lithium, no, Travis, that's fine, man. Don't worry about that. You definitely can adjust your air pressure. A golf cart can be adjusted way less than the max pressure that's written on the side of the tire. Travis, send me an email, man. I'll answer your email. That's my email address up there. All right, guys. Thanks for showing up. Congratulations again to Bruce for being the latest winner, and I'll give him a call here in just a second. Other than that, I will see everybody next week. The garage is now closed.